Namaskar. आज आफ्टर अ लिटिल व्हाइल आई एम ब्रिंगिंग अनदर सद्गुरु वीडियो। ये जो वीडियो है इट गॉट माय अटेंशन बिकॉज़ इसका टाइटल था द न्यू गवर्नमेंट मस्ट नॉट फेल टू डू दिस। तो इसको सुन के थोड़ी मेरे अंदर भी क्यूरियोसिटी आई कि व्हाट इज़ सद्गुरु गोइंग टू एडवाइस टू द न्यू गवर्नमेंट। बाय न्यू गवर्नमेंट वी मीन कि जो इस बार लोकसभा इलेक्शंस के बाद गवर्नमेंट आएगी आफ्टर दिस 2024 इलेक्शंस। So let's find out what he has to advise for the new government. I will give link to the original video in the description. Go and check it out. Give it a thumbs up. Come back and watch this video with me. Subscribe to the channel. Let's start.
We call ourselves a secular country, which we are not. We people are making fun, oh, they have 33 million gods, goddesses. Hindus are mooka pranis. They usually don't speak. A large part of World War II was funded by gold from Indian temples. Time is running out for that. This is one thing they must do. This will ignite the whole world.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Sadhguru, general elections are coming up this year. So, what is the one thing that you want the newly elected government to do?
There are many things that the country needs in terms of economic boost needs to happen, which definitely will happen, I believe, in the next 5 years to 10 years' time. Educational transformation needs to happen, but you're giving me only one thing. Only one thing. I have many things, but if it's only one thing, one most important thing for this civilization to burst forth and become something significant in the next 25 years is the Hindu temple should come to the hands of Hindus. Why?
मुझे पता है कि दिस पार्ट ऑफ द वीडियो विल बी अ टर्निंग पॉइंट फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, क्योंकि वो बोलेंगे कि हाउ कैन दिस बी द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. देयर शुड बी like other priorities like employment, poverty, economic boost, like he said. But how is this the most important? So let's find out. Stay with me because I hope he justifies himself.
Why this is important?
Yes.
Because you must understand, Hindu temple is not a place of prayer. It is not even a place of worship. These were energetically consecrated spaces for different purposes, so that human beings will flourish, which they did in the past. When most of the world did not know what is what, we had the highest level of mathematics, music, astronomy, spiritual process. If you look at the thought process of people who were here 5,000, 10,000 years ago, but nowhere in…
Just look at the people in the audience. All are youngsters, all look from like sophisticated, educated backgrounds, and they're all listening to him attentively. I guess we could all learn a little bit from them. Not in terms of following someone blindly, but in terms of having a genuine sense of curiosity, having acknowledging कि हाँ हमें कुछ चीज़ें नहीं पता है, and we should listen to people who do it, who do know those things. So in that sense, it can be anyone, it can be Sadhguru, it can be anyone else that you admire, but have that genuine sense of seeking within ourselves.
people who were here 5,000, 10,000 years ago, but nowhere in the world anything like that happened. All this happened because we invested in the inner well-being of the human being. Temples are a physical, monumental representations of that. It is not a place of worship, it is not a place of prayer where somebody leads you to say, you give me this money, then I will send a message to God and He will respond to you and He'll talk to you and all that stuff. Here, you went there only to have darshan, not to pray, you must understand this. You did not go to the temple to pray, you went there only to have darshan. because you can't keep quiet. You'll start thinking of all kinds of rubbish, they thought you something to say in a language that you usually don't understand. Because just to keep yourself focused, it's about darshan, imbibing the form into yourself. This is not to call God, to become God. This is not asking for somebody to come down and do something for you. It is for you to rise to that possibility. So, now we call ourselves a secular country, which we are not, because most of the Hindu temples are in the hands of the government, run by government clerks, systematically being ruined. There is no such thing as a temple without devotees. Only in the hands of a devotee, something becomes sacred. Hello? Yes. Can an employee who's looking what is his next increment can handle something which will bring that possibility to people? And temple was a fulcrum of art, music, culture, everything. All that is completely being decimated. So this is not a question of my culture versus your culture. This is a conscious culture which was created in a way that human consciousness will be the most important part of your life. Other things are secondary. This is why when people lived in shacks, they built temples that you can't imagine. Great feats of engineering, architecture, an immense effort. How 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, they could have built these temples when there were no machines, there were no transporting processes like machinery to transport or to lift stone, using millions of tons of stone. How did human hands do this? When you think about it really, next time you go to an ancient temple, you must look at it. Suppose you were here 1,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago or 2,000 years ago, how would you put this into place without machines? It's simply impossible even to think. But they did these things because they saw human evolution is the most important thing. To hasten human evolution is the most important thing. Today, whether you're driving a luxury car or living in a palace or not is not the important thing. Human evolution is the most important thing. How to hasten that process? Because human evolution has come to a place where it can consciously evolve. That means you can take 1,000,000 years or you can be there tomorrow morning. It's your choice. To exercise that choice is why we built these structures. But now, because everybody is thinking your community versus my community, it's becoming a competition process. This is not a competition with anybody. These are instruments for human well-being. Without this, we will end up living gross. In 1993, when we first came here to this place, for the first time in the wholeness program, when some 68 people were with me for 90 days of time, for the first time, to any other human being I spoke, though I've been pregnant with this for 18 years, for the first time I spoke, we need to build a Dhyanalinga temple. Immediately, the moment you're educated, you're like this, because that's the kind of education I also went through. Why a temple? Why can't we build a school? Why can't we build a hospital? I said, all those things will come later. First we need to build this because I'm pregnant, I can't be holding it forever. Hello? I have to do this. So, today, if there was a school here instead of a temple, or a hospital here, would you be here, I'm asking? Maybe if you got sick, you would be here, or if you had too many children, you would be standing in a queue for admission. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So this is important. The most important thing in human life is to hasten one's evolution to a greater possibility. This is the purpose with which we created these structures with enormous effort. And for every kind of human being, for every kind of purpose that human beings come up with, for all that, But today, apart from those who have been ravaged by invasions, leaving that alone, what is here is run by government clerks. This is one thing they must do, because people have been waiting for this, because Hindus are mooka pranis. That means they usually don't speak. Whatever. Because these 1,000 years of invasions have taught them this: if you raise your head may go off, put your head down and walk. So this does not mean we have to fight with somebody, why? We are saying every religion has the same right. Every religion has the freedom to do what they want. When this is so, why are the temples being run by governments? Simply because there is money, because there is wealth. Anyway, all the jewelry, gold, diamonds, everything, the English took whatever they could take, shiploads. In many ways, a large part of World War II was funded by gold from Indian temples, to a significant part. But after that, in the independent India, the politicians have stolen everything. Hell with the gold. I am not interested in the gold and diamonds that were in the temple or still there in the temple, I don't care about that. These are energetic forms. These need to be kept alive for future generations to benefit from this. But time is running out for that. So, what will this do? This will ignite the whole world. If we keep these places powerful, this is not just for Hindus, for every human being on the planet, it will bring benefit. For every living thing on the planet, it'll bring benefit. There is a way to do that. And many nations outside of India are realizing that. But here, for political reasons and greed, we are holding it this way. If there is only one thing I can ask from the new government, this one thing must happen, because this will transform the way we educate ourselves. This will transform the way we look at ourselves and way we look at each other. Tell me, is it nice to look at this young woman like this or like this? I'm asking. There is room for that also somewhere in a certain relationship. But when she simply arrives on the street in front of me, is it better to look at her like this? Hello? For her, for me, for the society, is it better? This is what it means, that people are making fun, oh, they have 33 million gods, goddesses, what nonsense. Snake is a god, cow is a god, bull is a god. Why? Even a leaf is a god. Every bit of creation is God. Even if we can see an atom, if I look at an atom in an electron microscope, the first thing I will do is this. Hello? Because this is important. This civilization is important for the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is unfortunately in a conquest mode. Whatever they see, they want to conquer. Bowing down to everything they see doesn't exist. If this has to come, these temples have to be kept alive, not just as monuments, but as living things. These were created as living instruments to transform human consciousness. This has to come back, because you're giving me only one thing. I'm saying this.
Whoever gets elected, this one thing must happen.
Well, I didn't speak much in between because I did not feel like I should be interrupting him. And I kept on picking small things that I thought I would discuss at the end. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to discuss is something sort of negative and has a very subtle nuance to it. I have noticed some of the Western people are blaming this idea on India. Which idea? That right now in America there is a widespread talks of gender fluidity, that everyone is claiming to be someone and they can identify as someone, as whoever they want to be, right? What the American people who are against this idea are saying, that this is essentially an idea of paganism, that everything is God, everything is whoever you want it to be. So basically, the gender fluidity concept is an extrapolation of that pagan idea. That is one negative aspect of it, that people are interpreting it in such a manner and not looking at the holistic concept of this idea, that it is about respecting everyone around us. It is about recognizing that brilliance of creation within every organism, everything around us. And also, it is good for the sustenance of the society. If you think that everything around you is to serve you, it is there only for you to exploit, then there will be nothing left for the future generations. So if you respect everything that is around you, then you may use it in a conservative manner. You will try to prolong it, you will try to replenish it. So that is the positive aspect of it, that people have completely ignored and interpreted it in such a manner that their own society or culture is not blamed for the evils and drawbacks of it. Another aspect that I find very fascinating is that the left liberal ecosystem continuously tries to criticize whenever the state participates in any religious activity. For example, when there was inauguration for Kashi Vishwanath temple and Modi was present at the inauguration, everyone was crying because they said that the government should be secular. Why are they participating in a temple? Similarly, at the time of Ram Mandir inauguration, a lot of people were crying that so much state funds are being used up in this whole process. So, at the same time, the same people would not question the continued control of the temples by the government. The same people would not question why Maulvis are being paid salaries, why churches are being paid a stipend for their maintenance by the government. So essentially, the wealth that is accumulated from Hindu temples is being taken by the government and is being used for certain we don't know exactly what it is being used for, but we can say that the same money is being given to people of other religions for the maintenance and sustenance of their religion. So here the government is still participating, right? Government is in every religion, government is participating, but the only downside of it that I see is that Hindus are being exploited in this whole process, and the government is helping other religions. So this left liberal ecosystem would not point that thing out, right? They will only cherry pick what is suitable for their narrative. So keep that in mind as well. If you really want a state which is completely secular, then it should not have anything to do with any religion. So tell me what you think. Do you agree with Sadhguru that it is the most important thing that the next government should do, or there is something else that you would choose instead of this? Uh, and with this, I would like to end this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.